Overthinking is not just thinking too much. It is a mental pattern where the brain gets stuck in a loop of analysis, prediction, and replaying situations again and again. Even when there is no real solution being found, the mind continues working. Psychologically, overthinking is deeply connected to how the brain tries to protect us. It is driven by the need to avoid danger, prevent mistakes, and gain control over uncertainty. In simple terms, overthinking is your mind trying to solve emotional problems using logic. But instead of finding answers, it gets trapped in the process itself. Inside the brain, the amygdala plays a key role. It is responsible for detecting danger and emotional threats. The amygdala does not only react to physical danger. It also reacts to emotional risks like rejection, embarrassment, or failure. When the amygdala becomes active, it sends signals that something needs attention. This creates a feeling of alertness or anxiety in the mind. Then the prefrontal cortex steps in. This part of the brain is responsible for thinking, analyzing, and decision-making. Instead of calming the situation, the brain starts analyzing it repeatedly. It begins to imagine different outcomes and possibilities. Thoughts like, "What if I said the wrong thing?" start to appear. Then more thoughts follow, creating a chain reaction of thinking. This is how overthinking loops begin. One thought leads to another without reaching a conclusion. Another major cause of overthinking is uncertainty. The human brain naturally dislikes not knowing what will happen. Uncertainty feels unsafe to the mind, so the brain tries to fill the gaps with possible explanations. Often, these explanations are negative or worst-case scenarios, because being prepared for danger feels safer than being surprised. Overthinking is also strongly connected to fear of mistakes. Many people want to make the perfect decision or avoid regret. Because of this pressure, the brain starts rehearsing every possible outcome. It tries to mentally prepare for everything before anything even happens. But this leads to more confusion instead of clarity. The mind becomes stuck in preparation mode instead of action. Memory also plays an important role in overthinking. The brain stores emotional experiences very strongly, especially negative ones. Past experiences like embarrassment or rejection become warning signals. The mind replays them to avoid repeating pain in the future. This is why people often replay conversations in their head. They are trying to fix something that already happened. Overthinking then turns into rumination. Rumination means thinking about the same thoughts again and again without progress. It is different from problem solving. Problem solving leads to solutions, while rumination leads to mental exhaustion. The mind feels like it is working hard, but in reality, it is stuck in the same loop. Overthinking can also feel productive in the short term. It gives the illusion that you are doing something about the problem. This creates a false sense of control. So the brain keeps repeating the habit even when it causes stress. In the brain, a system called the default mode network is involved. This system becomes active when the mind is not focused on the outside world. It is responsible for self-thinking, memories, and future planning. In overthinkers, this system can become overactive. That is why the mind feels constantly busy, even during rest. Thoughts keep running in the background without stopping. Overthinking is also influenced by personality. Sensitive and perfectionist individuals tend to overthink more. Past experiences also shape this habit. People who have faced criticism or emotional stress often overanalyze situations. This becomes a learned mental pattern over time. The brain starts believing that thinking more equals safety, but in reality, it leads to mental overload. It creates anxiety instead of solutions. The truth about overthinking is simple. It is not a sign of intelligence. It is a sign of a mind trying to protect itself in the wrong way. It uses thinking instead of emotional processing or action. Not every thought needs an answer. Some thoughts are just mental noise. Learning to recognize this is the first step toward mental peace. Because peace does not come from thinking more. It comes from knowing when to stop.